Ibrahim Traoré, turned the tables on French banks. Can you imagine a tiny nation taking on the entire global financial system? Picture this. It's 2 a.m. The world's asleep, but a 35-year-old president stands on the brink of his country's economic collapse. Instead of begging, he unveils a plan so bold it wakes up a whole continent and sends shivers down the West's spine. Today, I'm going to tell you the story of Ibrahim Traoré, a man who didn't just break colonial chains, but inspired millions worldwide from tiny villages to the most powerful summits. You'll discover 3 secrets that didn't just transform Burkina Faso's fate, but could ignite your own dreams. But first ask yourself, do you have the courage to say no to the world, to stand up for what you believe? Let's dive into this journey right now. In just a few minutes, you'll see why a single gold coin in Traoré's hand kept the West up at night and lifted Africa up with pride. Imagine a late night at the presidential palace in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso's capital. The clock strikes 2 a.m., but the meeting room's ablaze with light like nobody dares blink. Phones ring off the hook, the air thick like a storm's brewing. On a big screen, terrifying headlines flash: French banks halt transfers to Burkina Faso. The IMF cancels loans. The CFA, franc, is yanked from the market. The nation's economy teeters on the edge of collapse within hours. Everything could crumble like sand in the desert. Ibrahim Traoré, the 35-year-old president, slams his fist on the table, eyes burning like an unquenchable fire. "This is how they've controlled us for centuries," he says, voice low but sharp as a blade slicing through the dark. "Even our money isn't ours." His advisors, Central Bank President Amina Konaté, face tight with worry, and Economy Minister Ousmane Sonko, sweat beading on his brow, swap tense glances. Traoré turns to them, his voice ringing like a declaration of war. Why should an independent nation beg foreigners to print its own money? That question cuts through the room like a lightning bolt, leaving everyone speechless. Burkina Faso, like many West African nations, is shackled by the CFA franc, a colonial currency controlled by France. Every banknote they print, they pay France for depositing dollars in their treasury to use their own money. Like freedom's just an empty word on paper. "This isn't freedom," Traoré says, his gaze sweeping over each person like he's burning away their doubts. "This is the last chain of colonialism." Minister Sonko, voice trembling, warns Mr. President ditching the CFA franc is economic suicide. Mali, Niger, Senegal. The whole of Africa uses this system. We can't fight the world. Traoré smiles a smile, both confident and defiant, like someone who's already seen the future. Suicide or liberation? We'll be the first to break it. Imagine you're an advisor in that room, heart-pounding, wondering if Traoré is leading his nation to ruin or a historic turning point. Want to know what his daring plan was? Let's find out right now. While the room's drowning in doubt, Traoré drops a thick file on the table like a general pulling out his ace in a high-stakes battle. Operation Sankara. He declares, voice echoing, invoking Thomas. Sankara, the revolutionary leader of Burkina Faso, assassinated in 1987 for daring to dream of financial independence. When he opens the file, jaws drop. Inside are detailed plans for a new currency, Burkina gold backed 100% by local gold, paired with a free digital wallet app for every citizen, from farmers in remote villages to students in bustling cities. Traoré pulls a gleaming gold coin from his pocket, etched with a mighty baobab tree on one side, and Burkina Faso's map on the other, a symbol of national pride. "This is the prototype for Burkina gold," he says, holding it up to catch the light, glinting like it carries the soul of the nation. "Minted from gold, mined on our land, refined by our hands." Dr. Konaté, Central Bank President, hesitates, voice shaky. "But Mr. President, foreign companies control our mines. They oversee every ounce of gold we export." Traoré looks at her, eyes flashing like he's 10 steps ahead in a global chess game. "Not anymore," he says, calm but certain. 3 hours ago, our military nationalized every mine. French and American execs are being politely escorted to the border. The room goes silent like the air's been sucked out. This move's not just bold, it's a revolution, a direct punch to the Western financial system that's held Africa down for centuries. Sanctions, boycotts. Konate asks, voice trembling with the weight of the risk. The West will do everything to crush us. Traoré nods steady as a general before a defining battle. They'll try. But we've been preparing for months. He hits a button, and a world map lights up the screen, glowing with marked countries: Russia, China, India, Turkey, Brazil. For 6 months, we've made secret deals with these nations. Traoré reveals voice brimming with confidence. Direct trade in their currencies, bypassing dollars and euros. Our gold for their tech machinery and goods to build our future. But Traoré's plan doesn't stop at Burkina Faso. He's rallied leaders from 5 other West African nations: Mali, Niger, Guinea, Togo, Benin. All agreed to ditch the CFA franc switch to gold-backed currencies on the same day at the same hour, like a unified shout across the continent. We choose freedom. How do you convince a nation to trust a brand new system when the world's waiting for them to fail? Traoré doesn't wait for dawn. I'm speaking now, he says, eyes blazing with resolve. Our people need truth and pride, not panic. Want to know how Traoré's speech shook the continent? Let's see it unfold. At 6:30 a.m., as Burkina Faso prepares breakfast, Traoré's face breaks through every channel on national TV, interrupting morning routines. In his simple military uniform, his voice calm but unwavering, like a father speaking to his family in a defining moment, he begins, "People of Burkina Faso, last night, the West launched an economic war on us. They cut our access to our money, canceled loans, locked us out of their banks. But we will not bow." He holds up the Burkina gold coin, its golden surface catching the light like it holds the hope of a nation. Starting today, we use our own money, Burkina gold backed by our gold. He flashes the Burkina digital wallet app on his phone, its sleek, modern interface glowing. This app's free for every citizen. Your money's in your hands now, no banks, no permission from Paris or anyone else. Traoré promises. Every CFA franc account will convert to Burkina gold at double value. No one loses, everyone gains. The TV studio's silent, but you can feel the excitement rippling through every screen across the country, from mud brick homes in villages to bustling cafes in cities. We're not alone. Traoré continues as the screen splits, showing the faces of leaders from Mali, Niger, Guinea, Togo, Benin, all standing behind him with resolute eyes. On this day at this hour, we leave the CFA franc behind and step into true freedom. The people's response blows expectations away. Instead of panic-driven bank runs, they download the Burkina digital wallet. Its simple, transparent interface, theirs to own, free from outside control. Within hours, millions download it, not just in Burkina Faso, but in Ghana, Congo, Senegal, like a wildfire spreading across the continent. In Paris, France's central bank scrambles in an emergency meeting, faces pale as 6 West African nations ditch the CFA franc at once. "No bank runs!" a director gasps, voice shaking with shock. They're embracing the new currency. Can you imagine the power of a dream spreading that fast? Let's see how far it went. I believe Traoré's story isn't just about economics, it's about self-respect, the hunger for freedom and the courage to stand up to the world. When he rejected the CFA franc, he didn't just break financial chains, he shattered the mental ones, giving his people the belief they could shape their own destiny. For centuries, Africa's been seen as a continent needing rescue, controlled by Western powers. But Traoré proved Africa doesn't just stand, it can lead, painting a future the world can't ignore. In America, I think of Rosa Parks. In 1955, she refused to give up her bus seat in Montgomery, Alabama. One small act sparked the civil rights movement, changing a nation. Traoré's the same nationalizing minds launching a new currency is his way of saying no to a system that's oppressed Africa for centuries. It reminds me that self-respect isn't just a feeling, it's a fire that burns through every barrier from personal doubts to global systems. Or take Rwanda. After the 1994 genocide, President Paul Kagame turned a shattered nation into Africa's tech hub. Kigali's now the Silicon Valley of Africa, with modern skyscrapers, buzzing startups, and a spirit that screams, "We're not just surviving, we're leading." Rwanda didn't wait for the West. They carved their own path, just like Traoré's doing. I heard a story about a Nigerian farmer named Chidi. He taught himself to code on an old phone, piecing together tutorials from a village cafe's spotty Wi-Fi. Chidi didn't give up. He built an app letting farmers sell crops directly to buyers, cutting out middlemen, boosting income for thousands of rural families. Chidi didn't wait for a handout. He made his own opportunity, echoing the spirit Traoré's igniting. Don't wait for salvation. Seize liberation. Think about yourself for a second. Have you ever felt held back by doubting eyes, by voices saying you're not good enough, not strong enough, not ready? Traoré faced that the world laughed, called him crazy for rejecting easy aid. But he stood tall, chose freedom, chose faith in himself and his people, feeling that spark ignite in you yet. Let's see how far Traoré's dream carried. A year later, Traoré's vision stretched far beyond Burkina Faso, becoming a blaze across Africa. African gold. The gold-backed currency is now used by 22 African nations, from Mali's quiet villages to Kenya's vibrant cities. Inflation's at its lowest in decades. Trade surging like a tidal wave. Tech investments tripled, turning places like Lagos and Nairobi into global innovation hubs. At an international summit in Moscow, Traoré stands before world leaders, his voice a force like he's seen the future and won't stop till it's real. They said we'd collapse, we'd starve, he says, eyes sweeping the room. But we didn't say a word. We just did it. The hall erupts in applause, a thunderous affirmation that Africa's not just surviving, it's leading, rewriting the world's rules. The West tried sanctions, branded Traoré a dangerous rebel in screaming headlines, but he forged alliances with Russia, China, India, Brazil, Turkey, deals for energy tech. Agriculture and education sent Western media into a frenzy. West Africa's breaking away. Traoré just grinned on his flight home, telling Konate, "We're not breaking away from anyone. We're stepping closer to the world. We don't have one master anymore, we choose our partners." In a small village, Traoré sits beside an elderly farmer, the old man clutching a beat-up phone, eyes wary like tech's some alien magic. "I don't know how to use this, Mr. President," he says, hands calloused from years in the fields. Traoré smiles, gently guiding him. "Tap this button and your wallet opens. See? That's your Burkina gold, real value, untouchable, unblockable." The old man stares at the screen, eyes lighting up like a kid seeing stars for the first time. "This is really my money?" he asks, voice trembling. "Yes, sir," Traoré says. "This is your freedom." The old man presses the phone to his chest, voice breaking. "For the first time, I feel my money's safe. I feel free." That simple sentence proves it. Traoré didn't just change economics, he freed a nation's spirit, giving them the power to hold their destiny. I think of Aisha, the 12-year-old dreaming of being an astronaut. Every night she sits under her new lamp, reading about the cosmos, sketching planets on scraps of paper, whispering names like Orion and Cassiopeia, like they're calling her. Her dream's not just hers. It's a fire for millions of African kids who now have light to dream bigger than ever. Traoré didn't just bring electricity to Aisha's village, he brought hope. The belief that no dream's too far, no matter where you start. Picture yourself as Aisha under that lamp, dreaming of Mars, drawing spaceships. Does your heart race, thinking about what you could achieve? Want to know how Aisha's dream rippled across the continent? Let's find out. Traore's story teaches us 3 lessons to live and dream big. First, self-respect is your greatest strength. By ditching the CFA, Franck Traoré proved Burkina Faso's worth to the world. Believe in your value no matter who says you're not enough. Second, equal partnership builds the future. Alliances with Russia, China, and BRICS show the power of teamwork, not handouts. In life, find people who respect you and build something epic together. Third, big dreams change the world. African gold wasn't just for Burkina Faso, it was for all of Africa, for every Aisha out there. Dare to dream big and you'll inspire the world, from your loved ones to strangers you'll never meet. Pause for a moment and think about your dream. What's holding you back? Fear of failing. No money. Doubting voices, maybe even your own. Remember Aisha studying by candlelight, dreaming of Mars, refusing to let her circumstances stop her. If she can dare, so can you. What's the one step you'll take today to make your dream real? One small move like Aisha, sketching planets like Traoré, holding that gold coin can change everything. Share your story in the comments. Your dream could be the spark that inspires millions. Smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell to never miss stories like this. What's next for Aisha's journey? Don't miss our next video. It's going to be explosive. Thanks for watching, and let's keep spreading the vibe of dreaming big and never giving up. Want to know how Aisha's dream pushed Africa to new horizons? Stay tuned for the next video.